Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. The numbers are in again. PPI, stock market. Let's give you a view of the stock market. Popping up a little bit in here on the intraday charts. See them right there. May PPI 2.2 actual, estimated to be 2.5. So that's like, wow, costs are dropping for producers. And that's interesting. What could that mean? Prices are dropping for producers. I guess, I don't know. I mean, do I really think fuel and energy and all that other stuff is cheaper than what it was before? No. So I imagine May PPI was minus 0.2%. They were expecting 0.1. So in other words, 0.2 down versus 0.1 up. So what does that really mean? I guess, wow, things are really good, I guess. I don't know. Things are getting better. The Fed says they're going to try to cut one time this year. We'll see. I thought the most spectacular thing that you can see the stock market is still lifting up. Look at that. I think we're only like 3 points away from all-time highs again. Let's take a look and see. This will do it. There is the all-time high right there at 5,454.50. And we are just off of 5,450 with a high today of 52.25. Just a couple points away from all-time highs. So, and obviously since this administration is so honest on everything and we can trust them all the time, we must look at these numbers and think, wow, this is a good thing, right? I don't see it. I'm not totally sure what it means anymore. Robin and I were talking about the numbers in general, about the idea of people are losing confidence in the numbers themselves, and then Mr. Powell comes out yesterday. Let's see if we can put that story up there. Mr. Powell comes out yesterday when looking through the transcripts of everything he was saying. It comes down to he is confused by the labor numbers themselves. Let's see. Here it is right there. We'll put that up on the screen. And there it is. Powell admits Biden's administration is overstating jobs. And inside there they talk about the numbers and some they call ghost numbers and statistical averages. In other words, they just fudge all this math anymore. So, imagine if everything was reported, but let's get the chat line up. Imagine if everything was reported, basically with the caveat of seeing the Fed balance sheet movement at the same time. So in other words, how much more were they buying? How much more were they floating money? And in other words, if it's tightening and the numbers are going up and it's good, the numbers are making sense on the good side, that'd be good. But imagine if every time numbers are good in the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we find that the Federal Reserve is printing more money and spending more money to prop up the economy. Then it would zero out, I would imagine. That would be the way I would look at it. So that is my deepest thought of the day, really. And that is that the rationale between all that action. There's Robin. Yo, Robin, good morning to you. So, yeah, what an interesting way of looking at it, Looking at it specifically on the idea of, let's see, skip this ad. There we are. Like that, right there. Isn't that amazing? Powell admits that the Biden administration is overestimating or overstating jobs. It's just, let's see, it says here, it says, while the establishment survey did, and it's a survey, that's the problem. While the establishment survey did noted report that 272,000 jobs were added, this number also included multiple job holders, stripping those out, we get that the actual number of employment workers plunged by 408,000 workers. It's, and I was saying to Robin, money managers in the mutual fund industry and the retirement fund industry and the hedge fund industry all use these numbers, and they accept them. They use them because there's no other number out there, and their incorporation manifesto, the legal way of getting people to put money into your fund, says, hey, we're going to follow these numbers. Plain and simple right there. So in other words, no ticky, no washi, they used to say around here. But in this case here, it is follow these numbers or we can't get public money, basically. That's all it comes down to. Nothing more complicated than that. So. All right. Where are we now? And what are we doing? So we can get rid of the Fed off of this thing. Let's go through some of the headlines over there. I think that's entertaining too. Let's see. Let's move over to here and take a look at the dollar index also at the same time. There's the 10-year bond lifting back up again. It was up yesterday. It was a big gap up. Still in the buy. Let's grab this right there. Let's see, right there. There we are. It's in the buy there. It's lifting up, staying strong in the weekly buy with no problem. And there we are. And then from there, let's go over and take a look at Powell and the little headlines here and there that could be entertaining. It's always nice to see what's going on around the financial markets because the stories are so loose, I guess you could say. See, Elon Musk says shareholders backed his pay package and Texas move. We saw the Biden one where overstating jobs, breaking Trump is real, and COVID treatment making waves again. They're catching on, in other words, a lot of people are getting sick from those treatments. S&P set for the 29th record high of 2024. That's what we're saying. We're only a couple points away from that. Futures continue relentless grind higher. The IEA sees massive oil supply glut at the end of this decade. Oh boy. They can view that far out. What came from, we don't need that one. How about middle class destruction, the real story behind America's declining economy? Fossil fuels, the best kept secret in our world. No doubt about that. People hate freezing to death. Which European nations are seeing the most immigration? Let's take a look at that one. That looks interesting. So Italy is 150,000. Sweden was 5,000. Spain 500,000. Germany 500,000. France 250,000. Romania almost 250,000. 202,000. Netherlands was 110,000. That's a lot. 80,000 in Greece. There's an others of 250,000 too. And I guess that's why we're seeing European Union movement in the conservative direction, away from the spenders and the globalists who want to get rid of fossil fuels. All that stuff that people die from. They want to. They support the things people die from. Very strange. It is very, very strange. So, all right. From there, we'll drift over to back to the stocks, or let's put it this way, the currencies, and let's go see how the euro is looking this morning. Let's see. Right. Let's get the euro up on there. There we go. And so you can see it now. You can see it. I can see it. Went into the buy yesterday. Let's grab one of these buys. Went into the buy yesterday. Just down a little bit today, but still very firm and in the buy. You can see we've been in the weekly buy for a good 5 weeks now. Well, what else can we say about all that? Well, if we consolidate it, make it tighter. No, that's not the way. There it is right there. Overall, you can see this product is not really going anywhere. Bouncing off of the Fibonacci numbers, supporting it, then it fails. Does that head and shoulders. I guess you could say that's the other side of the shoulder from this shoulder. Breaks down again to the next Fibonacci number. Back up to another Fibonacci number. Back and forth. We've had those numbers on there for years now. You can see that the markets don't have a lot of conviction. Let's see. Let's look at cable. Cable looks much stronger than euro. That's pretty much unchanged for today too. Where the euro is down just a teeny little bit. And let's grab a buy from there. Let's see where we can grab a buy. The next buy. We'll grab that buy. Right there. And you see there, it's in the buy. 5 weeks on the weekly, right there. And on the daily, went into it yesterday from that super duper news of maybe, baby, maybe we're going to lower rates. I mean, everybody's like, please lower rates. Sounds like an Eminem song. Please lower rates. You can see here, this is the dollar index again. We're going to use, no, that's not the dollar index. Let's get back to the dollar index. Right there, there's the dollar index. And that news yesterday drove it down, pushed it into the sell. It's been in a weekly sell for 4 weeks now. And you got a nice bounce up here today. So obviously they're not that nervous to the numbers. Let's see how the stock market is if it's at all-time highs. Ooh, just 14 points off of it now. It was only 2 points away from it at one point. And you can see them pushing down a little bit here and pushing down a little bit there. And before you know it, it's down. Now we do have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's down 60 points. We have the Tech 100 up like 108 points. And we have the S&P 500 up, what is that? About, where is it now? Like 3 points. So it's just firm enough, Just firm enough. Actually, Dow's still dropping. It's down 80 points now. And go back to the currencies. Since no one's asking to see anything, I'll just roam around today and take a peek at what I like. And what do I like? I like anything that has some action to it. Let's go to the great inflation fighter, Swiss. Right there. And you see that unch for the day, second day in a sell. Let's get the line up there for the second day in a sell right there. And you can see we are 3 full weeks in a weekly sell. Let's see what else we've got out there today. Hey, you want to see something wild? Check out, let's go over to the beta and check out Apple. Wow. They've become like major bulls in the Apple. Look at that thing. Apple, #1 company in the world. Stocks moved up $30 compared to NVDA. Let's see what NVDA has done over the same last 3 days. NVDA. At one point, NVDA seemed to be threatening taking over as the #1 stock in the world. Capitalized company. There it is, right there. NVDA. There it is. That is up. Let's try that. Okay, that's there. So let's go like that. There's NVDA for the last couple days. It's up like $3. And we're in that weekly buy for 6 full weeks in the NVDA. And when it comes to the Apple, let's take a look at the... Oh, and here's the next one, Microsoft. They're all battling to be number one. It's had a nice move. It's had a... what is that? That is something like a $20 move over the last 3 days. Not too bad. Not as big as Apple percentage-wise. And at the same time, it's been in a weekly buy also for 5 weeks. Whereas NVDA, I think, is 6 weeks. Right there, yeah, 6 weeks. And Apple Dapple, I think, is 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Let me see. Where's Apple Dapple? And there's Apple Dapple. Oh no, Apple Dapple's been in a weekly buy for 3, 6, 8 weeks. The insiders knew on that one, and you can see it started off in the buy in the let's see, where is it? Right there, I guess you could say. I think you can get both of those up on the screen at the same time. I like that. So in late April, it was trading at 170, and now it's trading at 200 and it got up to 220. And it's trading around 215 there, and 8 weeks in buy. So they knew that it was gonna go up and away like in a beautiful balloon, and it's doing just fine. And they're like $3 trillion companies now. Can you imagine? There are not countries out there that have $3 trillion in assets, and Apple has $3 trillion, is capitalized at $3 trillion. That is incredible. Yeah, what economy out there? I think the Japanese economy is like a $5 or $6 trillion economy, or 4.5. I think Britain is like the same, 3 or 4, something like that, 2.5, 3. I think Germany might be in the 7s, the 8s. China claims to be up in the teens, but if they were in the teens, there'd be no reason for those simple little bankruptcies all the time by the government. United States is in the high 20s, 27, 28 trillion. And the European Union as a whole, the second largest economy in the world, is up in the high teens, or the low 20s, like 21. So that is the adventure of it all. Money, money, money. Let's go to, let's see, we're looking at the Swiss for the currency at the moment. So let's go from the Swiss, the great inflation fighters, as I'm concerned about. They're doing a fine job there in Switzerland. And let's check out the yen. I was on the edge yesterday of getting into a buy, and then it played with the sell, and I guess it did finally. It fell into the sell at the end of the day. Now they're reflecting that, so they could really use some movement down. When this is going down like this, that means that it's gaining against the dollar. And unfortunately, it's got that upwardly slope, so it's not doing too good a job, and it's trying to get back into the buy. We got the green and a red. I hope that is not forewarning of another move like this after the last green and red. And then there was the next green and red. It did the same thing again. It took off, and then the next green and red took off again. And now this green red, back-to-back ones. And it had a big spike the third day from the close there. And let's hope that this thing doesn't go agog and take off like a little rocket ship through the 160 area again. Okay, that is the yen. And from the yen, I think we're going to jump back into something like, I don't know, what should we look at next? I want to look at soybeans. Let's see what soybeans are doing. Well, there's corn. See, corn is trying to turn up. It's made a nice little bouncy thing there, but it fell into the weekly sell back in here. So, it's had that downwardly pressure. Now you can see we've been in a daily buy something like about 4 or 5 days, and it's flirting again with the weekly buy, which is really nice. Because I'm so confused, how everybody says the world is starved for food, and they're not buying these products. And there's I believe that's it right there. That looks like beans. There's soybeans right there. Now soybeans have fallen down from the 1250 area, and they're trading at the 1150 area now. And we've been in a weekly sell for 3 full weeks. So basically, since the top here, we went into the weekly sell, and we went into the daily sell, and then beanies just kept on finding ways to go down. And then it looks like today they're really putting another charge into it on the downside. Let's open it up over here. A charge into the beans. The Bean Brigade. Soybeans. And we're shooting over there and checking that out. And while we do that, let's go take a look. Oh, there it is. It's up there. So let's go take a look at beans. July beans. Right there. Now, they don't have it dropping like that. That's interesting. Not sure what that... What is that all about? 1140, and that is today, they're saying. Interesting. And go there, and it's not doing that same thing. Look at that. It's in a sell for 3 days. That's today. And it must be getting very close to delivery. Maybe I'll go take a peek and see what the delivery thing is doing. Because where are we at? We're at the 13th. It literally could be today or tomorrow the beans expire. Let me see how they're reflecting on the June. Are they June beans? They're July beans, so they're not expiring. They're July beans, so they've probably got another month in them. Let's see what the volume looks like in there. There we are. Well, basically, they've traded 17,000 contracts yesterday. They have open interest of over 250,000. And whereas the no beans has also interest, open interest like that, which is the next big contract. It's 299,000 open interest. And they have 12,000 traded. So they're not expiring there. And I'm not sure what is going on with that weakness on the beta. We will have to have that checked out. And then from there, let's go to the Great Experiment. Let's see how the Turkish lira is doing today against the euro. Right there. And just kind of hesitating in it. It wasn't in the sell for 4 days now, I guess it is. Let's put the little line in there. Thought we put that in there a few times. Yesterday it just failed at it, but look at today. It's not failing at it today. It's trying to climb up in there. I would hope that it stalls out here. I hope we don't see the top of this box again, Please don't show the Turkish people that box again. Don't get up there. Please don't get up there. It does sound like an Eminem song today. Instead of 2 trailer park girls, it's like 2 volatile currency pairs. There's 2 currency pairs today. All right. And we're definitely making a charge to get into the buy. And we're in that weekly buy. See right there at the 0 line. We're 6 weeks in the buy itself. Saw some interesting news out of South Africa. They've put a unity government together minus the Zuma organization. So we have ANC with about 39% of the parliament. We've got the DA with about 23% of the parliament. And we have the Zulus, or I think they call themselves IFT or something like that, the Zulu political party from Swaziland. They have about, I think they have about 9%, 8%, something like that, maybe 8% of the parliament. So now that means that there's going to be some responsible players when you have the DA and the Zulus together. That's very positive because the Zulus used to be aligned with the South African government during what they call the apartheid years. So they were not with the ANC. They were against the ANC. So this is probably the first time that the Zulus will be that active. Okay. So from there, we go over and take a look at the South African rand. And when I saw the headline in the news about an hour ago, I was like, wow, that's going to be interesting. And you can see now we know why it's been breaking down. They knew that they were going to do that. So we're heading for a full handle. Maybe it's going to come after the line and break it. Maybe we're going to see. Look at that. We're playing with the weekly sell too there now. But maybe we're going to see a more responsible government again in South Africa and cut out all the murdering and killing and stealing property and just all the mayhem that has been there for the last year and a half. And Zuma, I believe, is still living in exile, and his party got 15%. So that is what it is. They say that a good, out of the almost 40%, 39% of the ANC in Parliament, something like another 10 or 15% would like to be in the Zuma side of it, but they're a little bit more responsible. Just a little bit more like if they did, they may, end up losing their seat. And that would have probably given strength to the DA, the capitalist, free market, free people party. All right. From there, because we're looking at the South African rand, we're looking and we're saying, okay, with it going down and gaining against the dollar, that's what that's doing when it's going down, gaining against the dollar, we should be seeing the gold a little bit weaker. So let's take a peeky peek and see what gold is doing this morning. And there it is right there. It was down more. And you can see something's wrong there. That's not right. It closed in a buy yesterday. What the hell happened there? I swear, sometimes it's just really irritating, when they change all the prices on us overnight. Let's go see on the beta. Let's go over to the beta and see what the beta is showing us. All right. Okay, so let's look at gold on the beta. There it is right there. Yeah, see, it was a big move up yesterday. So it's showing up there. Let's go. Let me go over to the exchange floor itself and see what they're doing with the gold. This is what, August gold. Okay. So the one bar is right and the second bar is wrong. So let's just go close. And then we're going to open up something. And I'm going to adjust it with you guys on here. Because I just cannot take that bad stuff. It just drives me crazy when it pops up there. And then there and edit. And there we go. Let's see. So we're looking at the high is way off. The low is way off. The close is off and the open's off. What's up with this stuff? So let's punch that in. Mm-hmm. 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 Let's see. And now the low will be. Yeah. Cool. And the close now will be. Wow, what a difference. 14-point difference on the closing number. $14. What's up with these people? These black pools are a pain in the neck, and no one seems to be able to stop them. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let's put it up on there. And let's adjust it one more time. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. All right. Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, there we are. And then, now we got it fixed. Uh-oh. Joey's doing his thing. You see there? And so we're down a little bit here, which makes sense because the South African Rand... Well, wait a minute. When the South African Rand goes down, usually it's gaining against the dollar, and usually gold goes up. But, you know, it's getting knocked down there. Not sure why they don't like it. They don't love it. Not sure. You would think with all the paper being printed and the question marks of the value of the paper and, you know, just all the oddest of things in the financial world when it comes to statistics, it does definitely put a strange twist into it all. All right, let's go check out silver. Let's see what silver's doing there today. And we're looking at July silver. Like in the 4th of July. Right there. And right there. And see, that's wrong also. That is wrong also. Jeez. It just gets weirder and weirder. That was better this morning. Let me just take a look over here. Let's see if we can do this. Minimize that. I want to take a look at what we sent out today because I could have sworn it looked totally different. It's truly irritating. Yeah, it looks totally different. It's so weird. So weird. Do-do-do. Back again. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. All right, let's go take a look at it again over on the beta. Oop, where'd the beta go? Beta. Oh, beta. There it is. Yeah, no, that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Back again. It's like an Eminem song in my head. Do-do-do. La la la. All right. Let's see how we can fix the silver. Let me put it up on the exchange chart. We got to change the close. We got to change the high. We got to change. You'll see. It'll go like woo. Be totally the opposite of what we are looking at right now on that particular day. So irritating. Okay, so right there. There we are. And the next one is, okay, that's not too bad. It's only 7 cents off, or $7 off. I'm sorry. And that's off. Oof. And then the settlement was 30.26, and on the chart there, you're looking at a settlement of 29.80. Why does it do this stuff? And the actual settlement was 30.27. What a difference. Okay. Now, let's put that on the screen. You're going to be able to see it. Like that. And here we go. We're going to change it by just changing the data feed. And then resetting it right back to the same data feed. That's the worst case about it all. That is the worst case out of it all. So we go back to there. Say okay. And then see that? Look at that. That's yesterday. And it goes into a buy. And then like that. And now it's trying to go back into a sell. Do. La la la. Oh, wait a minute. There's a red dot in there too. So, all right. Maybe that's why it didn't get into the buy. Let's take a look at copper. Copper went into the buy, flirting on the edge of the sell. I mean, it just doesn't seem to stop anymore. I'm always speculating about the copper, the way it acts. You know, just when I come to my opinion, not the charts, not what the charts are saying, but I guess when you have another bankruptcy in the real estate arena in China, where China, remember, the government owns the companies. So if it goes bankrupt, it's the government allowing it to go bankrupt, and it's because they don't have. You imagine you have like $5 or $10 billion of assets, and you have to pay, say, $30 million for a quarterly payment to keep it moving along, and you default on that. Well, where did the $5 billion in assets go? What did they do? Buy planes and trains and automobiles? You know, what were they doing with those assets? If it's not, they don't have a simple little $30 million out of, you know, what's $1 billion? $1 billion is $1,000 million. Okay, $1 billion is $1,000 million. And so, can't you take, so instead just go $970 million, you know, out of it and keep your company afloat? I don't understand that. A simple $30 million out of $1 billion is a sneeze. It's like pocket change. It's a rounding number. And they can't even find it. And that's why I say things like, well, I don't know if I can trust anything about trying to figure out what the value of the, you know, China is, solely because they keep on defaulting on 40 million and 30 million, and you know, once in a while it's a big one. It's like 100 million. And it's like, yes, but you have. I remember the one that defaulted on the 100 million. They had 11 billion in assets. 11 billion. You know, so if you take $10 million from each one of those $1 billion, the payment is done. You're in business still. Instead, they're losing skyscrapers in Hong Kong. In other words, they're being foreclosed on, receivership stuff. It's like, what is up with that stuff? How can we trust anything we hear? I don't know. All right. So from there, we go over to, we'll go look at platinum. See what Mr. and Mrs. Platinum's doing. Right there. Do. La la la. Dun 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 dun. Yes. There's the intraday again. But they tried to pop it up. It's at 39 now. So let's go take a look at it more. Here's the S&P. So they've missed going after the all-time high right there and rolled over and dropped 12 points. And we're just hesitating down here now. I guess they're just trying to find the new buyers. The Dow now is down almost 100 points. Yeah. Interesting stuff there, huh? Yeah, stock market is almost like gone to sleep. Um, Now let's take a look. All right, now let's go take a look at right there. Maybe we'll go look at that's the platinum. Platinum still having its issues and in a weekly sell for a second week. Let's check out crude oil today. See what crude looks like. Now they sold it down at the end of the day there yesterday, but still stayed in the buy. I guess they had a big inventory, so that kind of put a little jolt into it. You know, they have those after all the markets are closed. They come out with their the U.S. markets closed and all. And they have the electronic market and crude. Then they have this inventory thing. And the next thing you know is, no, that's wrong. How about that? Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Again, it just keeps on marching. We keep on getting these issues out of it all. And see how it looks like over on beta. Yeah, see, the beta looks right there. That's the thing, is beta looks right. That's right. It's looking very firm. NYMEX and crude. It just never seems to want to stop, does it? You know, having black pools, really, you see open interest change. You see all these things go on that just doesn't make a lot of sense. There's trades going on that you can't see, breaking their own rules. The Commodities Futures Trading Corporation allows this to go on for liquidity. That's why they allow it to go on. They're hungry for having some volume and make it hidden. Yeah, they like to hide the volume, which is against the law. But they do it anyway, because they are the government. All right, let's see how that works. Okay. Where do you see the difference here? Let's just close the feed and reopen the feed, and that will straighten this out. There we go. And that baby's gone, and it looks just like the beta. There we go. I'm wondering about heating oil now. Let's see how heating oil. Yeah, they did the same thing in heating oil too. How about that? Let me go to the exchange there and change that at the same time. Heating oil. This is the fuel that we use to heat homes in the wintertime. Also hot water heating, things like that. Let's check the chat line just to make sure no one is asking me anything. Obviously not. They don't care. They'll watch it in the video. That's what it seems like. It seems like all our viewers are in. They come back and watch us in the recordings. So let's fix that now. Wow, what a difference that is. And then that's right. And then that's right. And the settlement, it's not the worst. It's off by about 8 cents, but not bad. And we'll do 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 do. Okay. Then let's go check out this and change. There we go. Now it's fixed. And climbing into that buy thing. There we are. Just check how that looks. Yeah, see, that went out looking right this morning. Nice. Okay, so that's not too bad. And now it's trying to lift, so that's even better. Do 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 do. There we go. All right, that is the heating oil. That's the energies. Let's go check out crude on. Let's see, where do we go like this? We'll go to look at crude on the beta. And let's take a look at, there is North Sea oil. Now that doesn't need to be fixed, thank goodness. And so there's North Sea oil. You can see there, you know, it's also jumped into the weekly buy last week. It's fighting to stay there, but it has failed so far. It's underneath yesterday. And that's what we're watching. And you can see here it's still lifting up. By the end of the day, it may be back into the weekly buy with that type of action. All right. From there, we lift our way over to... I went and looked, too. I was really curious to see what the... you can see they're filling it in more now. There's 11, there's 10. And you can see there, now they've got it all filled in. Ever since the European Parliament, that's why we named it policies and, policies and markets. Because you see here, they knew that they went into the sell, I believe it was back in here. On, oh no, that was not, no, wait a minute, no, forget that. And so it went into the sell. Yeah, I guess it was in the sell there. And the Parliament would be 4 back, so it'd be right there. So at this point, what we see is we've had almost we've had a $4 drop when the Parliament went to conservative, free markets, free people, free, capitalism, supporting that. You can see what happens when capitalists and not socialists or communists are running something. They usually go down and the expenses drop and the productivity increases and more people live and less people die. It's all that basic stuff, but you'll never hear it anywhere. They just they want to pretend it's all the same. Well, if it was all the same, the Soviet Union would be here. China would be number one. It's like, and so would be all of Europe number one, or not all of Europe, but Germany and all like that, since they've had all those socialist policies. Instead, they're throwing the socialists out. They're tired of paying for something they don't get. They're tired of freezing in the wintertime just so that they can pretend they're saving the earth. They need to save more than the earth. Our whole solar system, every planet in our solar system right now, we can see them very clearly. Not in telescopes. We have satellites around them all, or at given times, and we can see the strange things that are going on all of them. One has gone into an ice age. Another one, I think it was Uranus, has gone into an ice age. I believe it's Neptune. The winds have shifted dramatically in the opposite direction to the point where it would be like watching hurricanes start in Florida and go to Africa instead of starting in Africa and going to Florida. the red spot on Jupiter is shrinking dramatically, and their electromagnetic field is glowing very heavily, and they're losing rings around the planet. We're seeing volcanic activity with the moons there. We're seeing volcanic activity on Mars. And matter of fact, Mars just got hit by an X3 solar blast from the sun about 4 or 5 days ago, and there's a picture. It shut down some of our satellites around it for a little while. And, the whole solar system, almost a third of the atmosphere of Pluto has disappeared altogether over a 5-year period. It's one or the other. The SUVs and pumping oil on Earth has that much effect of the rest of the solar system, or it is something else that's going on. For Earth, we've lost 30% of our magnetic field. We keep on seeing, especially wildlife, the ones that use the waters to live in, like sharks and whales and dolphins and sunfish and so forth, are beaching themselves in strange places because the magnetic field has changed. So, it's one or the other. Detroit in Michigan is wrecking the solar system, or something else is happening. I go with something else is happening, since I don't see SUVs flying back and forth to Venus. All right, where are we at now? I think we're getting towards the end here. Let's take a look at, let's see what nat gas looks like. Now, see, in the States, natural gas is barely moving off, because, again, we have very cheap natural gas compared to the rest of the world. So, we're seeing this big dramatic drop in Europe with it, because the parliament is not going to freeze you to death this year so that they can save some bird or snail or something like that. Or save the world itself and the solar system. Okay, from there, I guess that pretty much completes the energy side, and we even looked at heating oil today. That was kind of neat. So, from heating oil and natural gas and crude oil, we slide over to the stock indices. First, let's go take a look at how our stock indices is doing. Look at that. It's like going to sleep there. It's like they're just going to, the Fed will step in and firm up the stock market because, I have friends that are, or I have one or two friends that are Democrats. My friends have to put up with them. And William, is trying to tell me, look at the stock market. Biden's doing great. It's like, what? And we got a $9 trillion, balance sheet now. The Federal Reserve is holding up the stock market, not Biden's policies. All right. Where we go from there? We'll go take a look at Japan. Let's go to Japan. Right there. And it was up for like 4 days in a buy, and now it's flirting with the sell. They sold it down a lot of it last night. And you can see here, the weekly's still in the buy for 5 weeks. So that's yesterday's close of the weekly. So we're waiting for today and tomorrow. Let's go check out the Kospi in South Korea. Looking the same way. How about that? Is that right? Kospi looking the same way? I guess it is. Kospi, there it is. It was in a buy for 4 days. It's breaking down the same way. That seems odd to me, but let's try it again. There we are. No, that's better. Now look at that jacked up jump. And you can see it's closed in a daily buy yesterday. And this is right there. That's the 13th. That's last night. So, closed in a buy yesterday right there. And so I would assume that's still in a buy today with no problem. And you can see here the weekly is trying after like 10 weeks. It is trying to get into the weekly buy, but still in the minus. But that is interesting. They finally taken out the highs. From there, we slide over to Taipei. See what Taiwan is up to. doing the same thing. They're buying that. Wonder if they went after the Shanghai that way, because they've been selling that Shanghai down. But then they had that default yesterday, and that's kind of like yesterday's news, not today's news. So I bet, I don't know. No, there's the Shanghai. It's down a little bit from yesterday, nothing major, but it's been in that sell now for 4 solid weeks, and going after the lows instead of the highs. Then we go to Hong Kong, which usually outperforms this with no problem. There's still something left over of the free city of Hong Kong. Not much. The Chinese have tried to take as much freedom away from them as possible. But there it is, the Hang Seng. The Hang Seng has been grooving on the downside too. This is a 3 weeks in there, and daily's 5 days in a sell. And so, but at least it's not going after the 16,000 area. It's still in the 18,000 area. So compared to Shanghai, which is bouncing along the bottom. All right, let's check out Philippines. There's the Philippines. They're having that downwardly pressure too, and they're going after the lows. And you can see 4 weeks in a sell, and you see 4 days in a sell. So the pressure's on there. Then we go over to the Singapore Straits Times in Singapore, which is taking the role of Hong Kong now. You see it's just kind of been weak for like the last week and change. You see it's been in a sell now for 7 days now. It's in a sell, and we're flirting with the weekly this week, trying to climb into the weekly sell. Do do do. Bum bum bum. Do 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 do. Let's see. There we go. So that is what's going on in the Pacific Rim minus the South Pacific Sea that goes to the Indian Ocean. And there is the all ordinaries. And you can see Australia's in a sell for 3 days, but popped up a little bit there yesterday. And it's the second week in a sell there too at the same time. And now we'll go check out the Nifty 50. I thought that was very clear. That one showed, the political influence of the elections, but at the same time, they did a good job of bouncing back right there. There's the Nifty 50. It's hanging out up here. Nothing too dramatic. It's just hanging out there. And, they're not doing anything too bad to it, I guess you could say. It's like they didn't sell it down, which is very positive. Very positive. Let's see what's up with that. There we are. Let me fix that one too. There we are. Yep. So the Nifty 50 is holding on, which is very nice to see. Even with it trying to get into, it went into the daily sell yesterday, and it popped up, and now it's probably in the daily sell again today. But that was the election right there. Let's do that. There's that election. Look, right there. Bang. He lost some of his parliament, but not enough to push him out of office. And like I said, that's what policy is all about. All right, traders, we're out of here. We went all the way up to 9:30. So this is Doc from North America. Let's show you how the U.S. market is starting its day. Let's see. We'll have to come up with a title, too. Oh, no, there it is. Right there. There's the Nifty 50 right there. Okay. All right. And there is that action. And pushing down a little bit, but nothing major. All right, traders. This is Doc from North America. Tomorrow's Friday. We will catch you all. Same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends.